I'm often asked, Coach Bob, how do you keep your motorcycle so clean? And the answer is, you wash it a lot. The first thing you're going to do is not go out and buy a lot of expensive things. You're going to get a nice soft rag and some dish detergent, and you're going to put it in layers on the rag as you fold it. I don't even use a bucket. Then you wet your motorcycle down, you wet the rag down, and you start cleaning. Now obviously you don't want to wash your chain and then wash your gas tank. You want to start at the top, work your way down. The things that are more delicate, that you're more prone to scratch, you do those things first. Then you work your way down. If you need multiple rags, if your bike is a real mess, then I would use a rag for the paint and the seat and the delicate things. Then I would use a separate rag for maybe my wheels and another one yet for maybe the greasier parts of the bike. Doesn't take very long. You just scrub it down real good. You get all the nooks and crannies, you get all up under the seat, up under the tail tidy, the fender, the wheels, all that. You lather it up real good and rinse it off. And if I didn't say this, it should be obvious. You don't do this in direct sunlight. You get in some sense of shade. You don't want the soap cooking into your paint. That's never a good idea. So once you get through with that, all you're going to do now is get ready to push the old motorcycle right up into the garage and get it into a place to where you're comfortable working. Get it up on a stand. Always use a stand. If you haven't invested in a stand, get one. It makes your life easier. At this point, I grab a blower and I just blow the excess water off of there. I'm not trying to get it dry. I'm just simply trying to get it to a point where it's not going to take all day for me to dry it. Then I get my favorite product out, wax as you dry. It's not a very expensive product, but it's a good product. It doesn't leave streaks. It doesn't leave a mess. If you get it on your seat, if you get it on your plastics, if you get it on your glass, doesn't leave a problem. There's nothing there. And so it does do a good job. I use that and I use it liberally. Now I take my seat off. I clean up under the seat very well, make sure that there's no grit, no grime. I like everything to be meticulous. Top to bottom, front to back, it should look great. Also, as with washing it with different rags, I dry with different rags. I'll use rags that I use for the paint. I have a certain rag that I will use when I get down around the rims and the chain area. So you'll see in this video me using multiple colored rags. And I have all of those things all set to the side and ready to go. And when I get through with this project, I immediately go and wash those things. As I do these things, I kind of compartmentalize as I dry things. I will dry a certain area, I'll move on. I'll dry another area, I'll move on. I'll dry another area, and I'll move on. As I do these things, I'm always going back behind to see if I've left any drips or drops or anything that might create a mess later on. It's always best to start at the top part of the bike, work your way down. I will say that I avoid the fairing and those things and save that for when I do the front end of the bike. Now once I get there, I get the wax as you dry, I spray it on the fender, I spray a little bit on the fairing, and I just start working my way around. As I dry things around the handlebars and the mirrors, I always avoid the master cylinder. I have a separate rag that I specifically use only for the master cylinder. I wipe my seat, I wipe it down on the top, I wipe it down on the bottom. I want it done right. I enjoy the cleaning process. Now, I simply put things back together and it's time to do some wheels and some rims. When I do the wheels and the rims, I'm very meticulous about this. This is a very important part of the motorcycle. This is what keeps you upright. If the wheels are bad, you go down hard. I check my rims for any damage. I check my valve stems to make sure they look solid. I check the tire. Yes, I actually have a rag. I wipe the tire down. No chemical on that rag. That rag should be nothing but water on there. I wipe that tire down. I'm looking for any damage, any punctures, any sort of tread wear that's abnormal, anything that I can find. I do it on both sides. I do the rim on both sides. Then I also get in nice and close. I inspect the ABS system. I inspect the brake wear altogether, the pads, the rotor, the caliper. I look for any leaks, any problems. And once I feel that I've done an adequate job on there, I'll wipe around while inspecting the chain and everything around the chain. And then I will move to the front. I'll do the same. Now, as you can see, this tire is sitting on the ground, and much to my disgruntlement, I don't have a stand for the front yet. But eventually I will, and I assure you that it will be off the ground when I do. There's nothing like just being able to spin that tire and do the job. Now I go back and I'm double checking any parts of the instrument, electronics, anything that I might have missed. Then I always go back with some turtle wax and I check for any scratches, any blemishes in the paint, and I know where they are pretty much on the bike, and I go over them and I clean them up. Now I crank the bike up, I let it warm up, and I check all of the electronics to make sure everything's working. This is a time that I do my good inspection of the bike. We always do a small pre-ride, but I really try to go around the bike and make sure that I haven't missed anything and left anything to chance. I check my fluid levels, I check my oil, I check my coolant levels, those sorts of things. And then once I finish up, I push it out into the sunshine. Always push it in the sun so I can see anything that I might have missed. The bike's nice and clean now. You're not going to damage anything. You just go out there and give it one last wipe down, one last look over, and then you're finished. Stand back and enjoy your work. All that, and I only spent money on one product, waxes you dry. The soap I took from the kitchen. Anyway, you should have a clean motorcycle now, and a great day.